down. Let's get into a singular rookie because I was watching this game. This was the rookie that we wanted to watch. Travis Jones. We hear so much about it in training camp. All the players in these interviews. Hey, this guy was so good. Michael Pierce's like, oh, we see a little bit of Chris Jones in him. And Travis Jones went onto that football field, and he looked like he was the best player on that defensive line. Like, it was every single time. It was just like, oh, Travis Jones, shed, tackle. Travis Jones pushes the center back or offensive guard back, gets to the quarterback. Maybe doesn't force, a sack or an incompletion, but gets there, forces the throw. Or he gets a sack on Malik Willis, and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, this guy... What we heard in training camp was true. And yeah, he was going against, backup offensive linemen maybe. But he dominated them. It was not a lot of times defensive linemen, like Calais Campbell, you don't notice a lot of times. Even though like his impact on the game is huge, but you don't notice him. We noticed Travis Jones. It was like Rod Woodson would not shut up about Travis Jones. It was getting somewhat frustrating. Because he was like, there were two things Rod Woodson would like to talk about. How to hold, you got to learn it. And man, Travis Jones is everywhere right now. I mean, that was the main takeaways from Rod Woodson right there.
No, absolutely, man. Seeing how Travis Jones, I don't know if you saw the one play, where he was in the interior, he pretty much paced and timed it. And how he just flowed over to the left side when Malik Willis was coming out the pocket. And no, he didn't get the sack, but he did cause enough disruption for one of his teammates to come up and follow through. Seeing how he was able to. That's what's going to be key, causing enough disruption for someone else to get back there and make the tackle. I mean, even when Malik Willis did run outside to get the touchdown, before that. He was out there moving. And when you see a big guy, in the 320, 340, pounders moving like that, hey, I'm going to run a little faster. Granted, Malik Harrison, you should have got the tackle, but it's definitely good to see one of our young guys get out there, showing themselves, and him moving those offensive linemen. That's going to be very key and very, it's going to be very key to the success of our defense, especially that front seven, and him getting on that field, and being on that 53-man roster during the regular season. It's going to be a sight to see with him, Justin Matabike, Calais Campbell. Maybe even still put him in there with Michael Pierce on different run situations, because he showed that he's big enough, he can cause enough disruption where he can still, make his presence known in the run game.
Yeah, and the Ravens' edge rusher is the concern on the defense from so many people. But if you have an interior pass rush, it's fine. It'll make up for it. It may actually be more beneficial, because I hate the fact that Patrick Mahomes has Super Bowl MVP. I think it's wrong. I think the fact that it's fan voted shows that people don't understand the game of football, because Chris Jones owned the San Francisco 49ers. He was the reason the Chiefs won that game. He was the reason they came back. It was every single play. He was swatting the ball from Jimmy Garoppolo. He was hitting Jimmy Garoppolo. He was sacking Jimmy Garoppolo. It was every time. Where does Chris Jones? He plays on the interior. When you have an interior guy like that, that's why Aaron Donald is so special. Guys are triple teaming him, double teaming him. Yeah. And when you're double teaming guys on the edge, it's very simple to shift, right? Because you go, okay, we got two on the edge rusher. Maybe it's Khalil Mack, TJ Watt, whatever. All right, if you're the center, you may have to switch over, guard the B gap because the other guy's going to the C gap, or maybe you shift or you play the A gap. When you're the guard and a double team is coming, maybe it's coming from the center. A lot of times, teams like the Ravens like to blitz. If you blitz and they're already double teaming Travis Jones, which he may draw some double teams this year, that's going to allow Patrick Queen, who we already know is a fantastic blitzer, finds that hole very well.
Happy birthday to you, PQ, today.
Yes, happy birthday, PQ. Happy birthday. I know it's also Sam Cook's birthday. It's someone else's birthday. I cannot remember who else it is.
I forgot it was three of them guys. I want to say Ronnie, but I could be wrong.
But it's going to allow for so many things. And that's been an aspect. I mean, that's going to allow, Matabike one-on-one. if he's next to Calais Campbell on the interior,
Yes.
like that is not two guys. Like you can't run at that. Imagine you're 3rd and 1. Doesn't matter who's your running back. It could be Derrick Henry. It could be Jonathan Taylor. Whoever you want to say.
Yeah.
The Ravens can put out a defensive line of Adafe Away, Calais Campbell, Michael Pierce, and Travis Jones.
Travis Jones will cause enough attention. If you, matter of fact, put him in the middle. We'll put him in
yeah. Throw Calais on the outside. Put Travis Jones and Michael Pierce on the inside.
Yeah,
I mean that is very, very tough. Oh, and then you have Tyus Bowser at linebacker, Malik Harrison at linebacker. I mean it opens up so much having the guy that gets doubled be on the interior. Because I expect he will get double teamed. The way that he dominated teams that have poor guard play or a poor center, it's going to be a rough game against the Ravens.
Most definitely. And the thing is, he's not using brute strength. What do I always talk about when I'm looking at my defensive tackles, defenses? I'm looking for how they are in combat with those hands, and he knows how to use those hands in a way he can get under your shoulder. He can flow with the ball, and them offensive linemen, they're gonna have to hold. And, I mean, unfortunately, it's gonna be a pancake league sooner or later. But there's going to be a lot of penalties being called because he is causing so much disruption. If he can cause enough disruption, like you said, offensive tackles are not going to be able to beat a freak specimen in Adafe Away every down. Adafe Away is going to be able to get back there just about 90% of the time and cause enough disruption to get the sack. So, having enough guys in this front seven, matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think we got a 2007. I think we got a 2000 type of front seven. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I think we got a 2000.
I think we need to add one person for that. We need that middle linebacker, Mr. Roquan Smith.
You know what?
Then we got it.
I loved it. I love the Roquan Smith. It's just everything we would have to give away and how much we would have to extend that contract. That's all.
I mean, it's just, like Travis Jones. One, I still can't believe he fell to the 3rd round. And a lot of people say that type of stuff, but they didn't know about the player. I talked about him pre-draft and said, this guy could very well be better than Jordan Davis because you can play him a lot more. He's better at rushing the passer, and he should be a first-round pick. He looks like he should have been a first-round pick so far.
I like the way I'm glad you brought it up. Now, I didn't watch the Eagles game. I don't know how many times Jordan Davis was out there, but for us, Travis Jones was out there maybe about 95.5% of the time. Was he or was he not?
I mean, every play, every single play. Like someone posted a highlight tape of him. It was like a minute and a half long. How often do you see rookie 3rd round pick defensive tackles highlight tapes from one game be a minute and a half? I mean, that's probably as long as Justin Madubuike's rookie season mixtape. And Madubuike was good his rookie year.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it kind of came on towards the end, but, I mean, Travis Jones that guy is going to be special.
Agreed.